PBYI got me so good today, guys. So I called it out yesterday in the Facebook room. I said something about PBYI is down huge, and at one point I was actually up $200, but I was like, okay, well, let me let it break down under 65, because usually I do 2-to-1 risk to reward, and actually that's the wrong chart. Hold on. All right, so PBYI gap down from $90 all the way down to 68. It got some bad news, and it ate it. It basically just ate it this morning, and well, last night. But anyways, so we were looking to short it right under 66 right here, and then the stop was going to be 67 basically. So next candle here, let me zoom in so you guys see what I saw. Right there. All right, so my stop was going to be 67. I was going to short it under 66 because as you can see on here, it pulled up, failed. This was a shakeout, and then it came right back down. So next candle to break 66, I got in 200 shares. So I was risking $200 right at 66. It was a little spready, so I actually got lucky on that and got it at 66.20. I ended up coming at 67.05, unfortunately. So like I said, it broke down. It kind of found a base right here, and it just came back up. So at this point down here, I was up $200. Did I take it? No. I tried to stick with my 2-to-1 risk to reward. Lately, I've been having a little problem with that. It's just the market was actually headed up this morning, right at the break, or right at the start, and this was headed down, which a lot of the times in the beginning, it'll just kind of flush down and do what it needs to do, and then it'll kind of trend a little bit better with the market, but that didn't end up happening. There was a lot of support here at 65, so I held it. I was hoping that it would just flag out and then just break down under 65. Didn't end up doing that. It actually, right here, this massive shakeout. I could not hold this thing. I was thinking of moving my stop down to VWAP, but I saw it move up and just jump very quickly. It actually had a lot of volume behind it, so I stuck to my stop right at 67. I got kicked out right at 67.05. So that was the first one. I lost, I don't know, somewhere around $200, 170 or 180 or something like that. So that was my first trade on PBY. Then the second one was a little bit of a revenge trade. I will admit that. I was like, okay, it's down 20-something%. This thing should come back down. So I ended up shorting it right as it broke 67. So 67, my stop was going to be 68. Because this is just a ridiculous candle, seriously. So next candle breaks 67. Look at this. From 67 straight to 66. Took my partial, or actually I took the whole thing off. Let's see here. So I shorted right at 66.70. I got it a little late. I covered right at 65.75. So I got $1 out of it regardless. So I got it down here somewhere. As you can see, I did the right thing and I covered. It actually started climbing right back up, came back down. It's been really, really, really choppy this morning. PBYI, I thought we were looking at it this morning in the room. We thought it was just going to be one of those stocks that you're just going to hit, and you got to hit it hard because it's down so much. It really has no other choice but to come down. But it's been really, really choppy this morning. So I know a lot of people that took a lot of some losses on this, multiple losses on PBYI, just because the chart on it is so good. So if you look at the daily here, let me put the 200 on here in the 50 so you guys see a little bit better. So whenever we look for something that's gapping down and there's no previous support on it, and there's nothing to basically prop this stock up, we know that it's going to be a good short. Most of the times it is anyways. And think about it, guys. It gapped down from 90 and opened up down here at like 66, 67 or whatnot. There is nothing to support it. Let's go on the weekly. I think that there was maybe, let's see here, over here. Yeah, so maybe the top of, actually no, the bottom of this candle right here had a little bit of support, and then the top over here, which was basically the same spot, and but it had already broken down past that. So we basically had either 53 or 45, which I don't think it was gonna fall that bad, but um, we just thought it was just gonna fall out of the sky basically, and it ended up not doing that at the very beginning. I think it's actually still trading sideways. Yeah, so it's still trading sideways. So a lot of people have been getting chopped in and out of that. Very unfortunate, but hopefully you guys understand what I'm looking for when I'm looking for a good short. Something that's gapping down a lot, and then there's no support. So if you guys do have any questions, make sure to just leave them down in the comment section. I'll be able to answer them. Now, so I took that revenge trade on PBYI. I know it was a revenge trade. I shouldn't have done it. If you make it's a it's this it's a saying that I heard. If you make money and mistake in the market, that's money that's just borrowed because you will eventually pay it back. So I know it's a bad habit. I know I shouldn't do it, but it's just this spike was so large that that is also a strategy, shorting spikes, but I usually don't typically take them because they're very risky. To me, they're very risky. But I like the price action on it, so I took it. Now, next trade was on RES. Now, RES was gapping down. Let's see where I took it at. Gapping down from 25 to 22.50. Let's see here. I took 250 shares short right under 22.50 right here. Oh, man. Right around here. Hold on. Let me put these back on here. Yep. So typically, like I do it, I short under the 9 and under VWAP. So it came back up. It failed. I shorted it right here at 22.50. I actually ended up covering it at 22.34. As you can see, it's a very smart idea. I saw that the market, it was kind of sketching me out that it was very strong this morning. It was very strong, and trying to short something that is, while the market is very strong in the morning, it's not really the best of ideas. So I took the whole amount actually off. It kept kind of going back and forth in here, and I read it correctly, and it actually started coming back up. So I just took the whole shares off. I ended up only making $40 on that. LUV. LUV is actually a counter trend trade. I acknowledge that the market was very strong this morning, so I actually ended up taking this flag. Let's see here. 63.13. I'm going to guess it's probably this one right here. So 63.13 right at 10 o'clock. So yep, I took this candle right here. So it's a bull flag. So it's up, pulls back to the 9. Next candle, make a new high is your entry. So right here, I took, let's see, 250 shares? No, 500 shares. Sorry. So I took 500 shares right here at 63.16. Stop was the low of this candle right here. So it was about 20 cents. I was risking about $120 or so. And it actually ended up holding, and it started climbing up with the market. And since it was a counter trend trade, instead of going 2-to-1, I took the 1-to-1, and I just took all of the shares off. As you can see, it actually did the correct thing as well, and ended up turning around. So those are kind of rules that I implement as I've seen them work. So if it's a counter trend trade, I will take at least a 1-to-1, but I won't go for the 2-to-1 because it's just more dangerous. All right, now the next trade, that's PBYI. Yeah, that's right, I did. PBYI. Yeah, so as I mentioned earlier, PBYI was actually holding at 65. And I shorted it right at 65.05 because if it broke 65, it was going to fly down, and we knew that. So I shorted it 100 shares right at 65.05. I said my stop will be over VWAP here. So, and then actually I ended up adding another 100 shares. So I was 200 short right at 65. And I told myself that my stop was going to be 65.30, which was VWAP at the time. Because if it comes back over that, it's most likely going to keep climbing over. So like I said earlier, this thing was very, very choppy this morning. So I didn't really quite trust it. It was very whippy as well. So as you can see on here, it actually ended up coming back up, came back down. It's been going sideways. So I took 3 trades on it. 2 of them were, I was wrong on. So after that, I was just completely done. I just put PBYI on. I just completely took it off my charts. I was done with it. I knew I wasn't going to make any money out of it because if you keep trying to fight the market's just going to keep taking your money. So you have to know when to quit. All right, next trade was NBS. Commissions. I think I'm trading a little bit too much as well. NBS. Let's see here. The commissions are starting to get a little high. But so NBS, something that was gapping up this morning. This is the ORB pattern I wish I would have taken. I saw it out of the corner of my eye when I looked at my other monitor, and I believe I was busy with PBYI, and PBYI was so whippy that I just didn't pay any mind to it, and I completely regret that. And also, this would have taken a lot of capital. So remember, the opening range breakout play or the 3 candle play is a candle that it's a full candle, a pullback, and then it's the next candle that makes a new high. So this is not ideally the best candle right here. But if it does have some sort of pullback and it resists right at the same spot that the other candle had resistance at, there's most likely sellers there, obviously. And if it breaks over, that means it's going to go higher typically. So I should have bought somewhere around probably 800 shares of this, and I could have gone 2-to-1 because it was gapping up. It was a long move, and I had a very small risk to reward, or not risk to reward, but I had a very small risk. So I was only risking about 13 cents on this because I was going to go long over 90.80, and I could have gotten 2-to-1, 3-to-1 probably if I really wanted it. And I could have made out like a bandit, but I just knew that was going to take up a lot of my capital because if you do the math on 700-800 shares of a $90 stock, that's kind of a lot. So I decided not to, and I was busy with PBYI. Now looking back on it, I should have taken it. This is a trade I would take every single day. ORB pattern on a 5-minute chart, this is something I would take every single day, but I didn't take it, unfortunately. But I did end up taking, let's see here. I ended up taking this flag right here, and it actually ended up not working out, which I'm totally fine with that not working out. A lot of the times it does. Most of the times it does. That's one of those like 60 to 70-30 things that often do work. When it pulls back to the 9, next candle to make a new high is your entry. This is basically a fake breakout, and I took my loss. I lost $99 in it. Totally fine. This is something that I would call a good loss. My friend gets on me about saying that all the time, taking like a good loss. He's like, "What are you talking about? A good loss? Like you lost money. That's not good." I'm like, "Well, you have to lose money, but if you trade this pattern day in and day out, you'll be right 7 out of 10 times." So, and the market was going up. It's a pattern that I recognize, and my risk to reward was correct. So, if all 3 of those check out, I take it and it doesn't work, then it's just bad luck, I guess. But so that one ended up not working out. I lost $99 on it. That's a bull flag setup. Let's see here. Actually, I did end up adding. I ended up adding, so I had 700 shares. 700 shares. I moved my stop up. Got out right at 9. Right here, 91.14. Yep. So lost on that. Now Kara. Kara's the last trade I took. This was right here as it was rounding back up. Typically, this is a trade that I will take a lot of the times. If it's a very strong stock that pulls back to the VWAP and it climbs up and over. Wow, it's actually. Oh wait, never mind. It's not going that strong. But look at it. So if it hits back down to VWAP, it comes back over the 9, and over that whole little consolidation. So this little consolidation right here, I would get in right at 16.30. I got in right at 16.30, risking. My risk was 30 cents, so $100. I was looking to get up around 16.60 to be able to take my partial. It hit 16.50 and it didn't really quite cross. It actually started selling off. And during that time as well, the SPY was actually turning around. So I held it for quite a while. As you can see on here, I held this for 45 minutes or so. So let me unlink this and I'll show you guys what the SPY looked like during the time. So let's see here. It's probably somewhere around here. So 11:15. Yep. Yep. So right here, right in this area. As you can see, it broke down the lows of the day. The market was pulling back a lot. And of course, Kara is going to pull back with it. So unfortunately, the market didn't end up climbing up like it was. It's just it started coming down. So Kara came down as well. I did notice that, but I stuck to my stop, and I ended up losing. Well, how much did I lose on Kara? I ended up losing $87. Unfortunately, basically the same thing as the bull flag. This is a pattern that I do a lot. But unfortunately, the market was coming down during that time, so I don't really regret it on that one. I mean, I could have gotten out a little bit earlier to prevent some of the losses, but you never know when the market's going to spike down like this. So, and then as I've been telling you guys for the past couple of days, I've been holding 2 swing trades, BRS and which is Citigroup. I took BRS out. I didn't really quite like the price action that it was doing over the last couple of days. It's been very indecisive. When I get on a pullback, get into a stock in a pullback like that, I expect it to come back up relatively quickly. So it's kind of been going sideways for the past couple of days, and I'm not really going to stick around. So I ended up taking the $72, which is nowhere near what I was risking. But I wasn't willing to stick around and lose the whole. I think I was risking about $300 on that, so wasn't really willing to risk that. Now the other trade that I do have left on the swing trades is Citigroup. I got in at 78.45. We are currently at 79.38. So it's been slowly climbing up, and it's been doing what I expect it to do. So this one, I'm gonna hold it for about maybe till the end of the week or perhaps early next week. Climb up about another $1. I think I'm gonna take it off probably somewhere around like 80.50 or so. So total would be around $200 on that. So hopefully it keeps going up. All right, and that is it for the recap today. I kind of covered a lot of stuff. I think I have been over trading a little bit, but since we are now in earnings season, there's a lot of plays that are out there. So every time that I see a pattern, I try to be really choosy and picky with what I trade. But every time that I see a pattern that I recognize and I think it gives me a good opportunity, the market's going my way, I will take that trade. Doesn't matter if I've traded 10 times or 1 time for the day. I will take it if I think that there is an opportunity there. So I know this kind of looks like a lot. But remember, I do have the 2 swing trades. I was down 268 on the day. So the last 2 days, unfortunately, have been erased, and I'm basically flat on the week. The only thing that I'm up right now is what I currently have on Citigroup. So either way, if you guys have any questions, make sure to leave it down in the comment section below. Make sure to join our Facebook group. I'll have the link to that down there as well, and I'll talk to you guys next time.